All right, this is going to be part 2 of the capital pass-through improvement petition. I'm still working on the 1230 La Playa Street capital improvement. I'm gonna go to my desktop here so that I can have like kind of a working area, and I'm gonna hit. I'm on an Apple, and I'm gonna hit Command Shift N. Oops. I got to make sure that I'm clicked into the Finder here. Okay. Command Shift N to make a new folder, and I'm going to make this folder 1230 La Playa. I number my stuff. 533 is like the code that I use inside my head for capital improvement pass-throughs, but you might have another system. Capital pass-through petition, capital improvement pass-through. Just a couple ways so it's searchable. Capital improvement pass-throughs. Okay, and then in here, I'm going to move this document that I have here. So I'm going to be in the Finder again, hit N for that, and then I'm going to search for this one. I just type 533 in, and hopefully it'll show me what I want. I hit space and then select file names. And then here's the 1230 La Playa thing. It's in my documents folder now, but I want it to be in its own specific folder because what I also want to be able to add into this folder here is checks and invoices related to all the stuff that we're going to start putting into this form. So just going to keep going to the meat of this, which is down here, all the parts that needed to be filled out. So we got some of the basic stuff filled out last time, and we ran into an issue with the number of units that we, like this building has 15 units, number of units which I'm seeking a rent increase is, and this needs to change because we identified in Appfolio. Okay, so I generally have my like 3 working windows for what I need to do these capital improvement pass-throughs. It's going to be this Acrobat, email, and then Appfolio. So in App, I'm working with Jessica here, like trying to gather some information, asking her different things related to this. These were the 3 categories of expenses that I basically determined were the ones that were eligible for capital improvement rent increase. And I believe here on the instructions, it lists all of those things. So this section here, page 3 of 11, is the 5 and 7 year things that are eligible. Shift. It's not selecting it the way that I wanted to, but there we go. The 7 and 10 year things that we can pass through. So there's 2 sections on this capital improvement pass through, and like large expenses in the thousands of dollars are usually worth recapturing, and they can be captured for the last few years while people have been residents of the building. I believe the number's 10 year or 3 years. Any expenses in the last 3 years can be put onto a capital improvement petition. So anyways, I went through these lists, 7 and 10, and then I went through the work orders at the property basically by doing like a work order report, reporting reports, and then you can find out like what type of work has been done at this property. You can also come in here, reports. There's all kinds of ways to find that information. I went through it. It can be time consuming. I think generally if you know that there was like a large expense, and they generally linger for months on end, so you'll know when they come afoot. The next one, we have some like capital improvement seismic retrofit work happening at 652 Clayton Street, so that will be upcoming. And then once we recognize there's that big one, we want to look at the last 3 years of expenses to see what is worth including in the petition. So Sometimes we haven't had the property for 3 years, so you have to look at historical documents or see what's in the paper files. Paper files in our office are generally scanned in, but you can confirm with the bookkeeping department there that that's the case. So I'm looking for the maintenance reports, diagnostic reports, leasing, owner, transaction. Nope, 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 nope. I think it might be more useful to come to this work orders section, and then we'll click search, and we'll go 1230 La Playa Street, and I'm just going to search for the last 3 years, so back to 2014, okay, and then I go all, search. There's going to be a lot of work orders here, 128. It's not terrible, but what we kind of have to do is like go through and see which piece of cabinetry came loose. Like that's maintenance, not capital improvements, right? And it's going to mainly be ones that aren't. That'll be attached to Vanessa because she was the resident manager, or like not attached to a unit at all. Work order, toilets, nope. So tenant and reported leak in wall. Nope. So like even like that's not. It has to be like new stuff. Toilet, nope. Pest control, nope. Toilet loose. Tenant, mice flooding, nope. Well, anyways, I went through and like I had addressed and assessed like all of the things in the past that like we needed to include on this, and like you effectively like just go down through the list and look at the last 128 work orders, the last 3 years of work orders, and determine what needs to be done. So of this 7 and 10 year list. Okay, so pause it and look at this, or open up the petition form and know this when you're going through this. But it's basically, like new things. And there's a new front facade. There was new security cameras, and there was an upgrade to basically replace the front door lock. Okay, I asked if there was a phone installed in the elevator, and no, she doesn't know about that. So here's all the stuff that I'm going to download, and I'm going to put it in that one folder that I made. And so over here on attachments, you can see here, all of this stuff is here. And then this gathers everything for this ticket. So I'm just going to hit download all. All right, and then I'm going to start making it there, and I'll move it over there. Sorry, I kind of jump around when I'm doing this. There's a lot going on, so it's a bit to kind of do. So I just drag it from there into there, right? All right, so that's all those documents. I'm gonna look for this phone installation because I thought that there may have been something like that. So to do that, I'm gonna look at the search and vendor. Bliley has been the one doing the work over there. Search. This is all their monthly elevator stack. No, so I don't see anything like phone related. So I'm just going to keep moving on. All right, so I got to start making note of these numbers and transferring them over into here. So I'm going to kind of like skinny this window up so that I can look at and scroll through both at the same time. All right. So the stucco work. Oh, and I need to know which category each one is. Is it 5, 7, or years? All right, so stove, fixtures, garage doors, heaters, exterior and interior painting. No. Capital improvement. New foundation, new floor structure, new ceiling or walls, new sheetrock, piping, ceiling insulation, central smoke detection, new wood, new air, exterior siding or stucco. All right, so this is a 10-year one. Okay, and then the security, while I'm here, it looks like central security system is also 10-year, and then lock, front door lock. New doors, I guess. I don't know if the lock is going to qualify. Appliances. So you can do a single person too, like if you buy a new refrigerator for 1 unit, you know, like that's something else that you could look at too. So actually maybe I'm not going to do it in this one, you know, and target anybody specifically, but in general, when you're going through all the work orders, if there was an appliance replacement, you could include that in there. Blankets, other improvements, appliances replacement. No. The lock. New doors, new mailboxes, sinks, phone entry. So the lock is probably not going to be able to include it, but if I include it, it's too small to care about too, really, because the amount that he'll get back on that is like 1 cent or 20 cents a unit. So it might not make sense to like hold up the petition if they deny one piece of it or whatever. It could be a bit challenging. So there's 15 units total. One of the units is a resident manager. And then 4 of the units were determined not to be eligible for the rent increase because they're not in rent control because they're Section 8 tenants. So they're not. So we up their rent when we need to in line with the market, and don't need to include them on this petition. And that was what the other part of this video was, which I think where I left off. And those have been sent out for signature by the field manager, or like they could be mailed. They just need to get signatures from the tenants and then the broker, and then sent back to the office. So those tenants that were Section 8, that I've listed in here. Let's see if I can search that too. That was 304, 204. I gotta search it in this all section over here. This is that information. 204, 104, 304, 204. So 104 is out. 304 is out. This is where I recognize that they had an issue. Okay, 305, 104, 204 is out. All right. So I put all their stuff. I don't have to include everybody's phone number on here. It actually says like for privacy's sake, it's like not necessary. So, anyways, I'm just gonna like keep going through this. So take out any mention. Oh, shoot. I have this open in Acrobat. I need to have this open in Preview. I can trying to close it. Let me open. Just gonna force quit that. And then I'm going to drag this open into preview, which is nice. It's the free application and actually is working a lot better for modifying this. So where are we at? We're taking out 104, taking out 204, taking out 304, and 305 because they're section 8. Okay, I'm going to hit save. And then this is where I can modify those. 104, 204, 305, and 304. And then, yeah, it's a lot of information. So, got to go back to reports. I'm going to get a tenant directory. And then this directory is going to be looking at 1230 La Playa tenants. All right, item number. So should number these 10-1 and 10-2, 10-3. New stucco facade. And then this is for the tenants. So show active tenants, current. We want properties 1230 Playa Street. And I'm gonna update. All right. New security cameras. So I won't include that. We just gonna hit save. I'm gonna go back up here while I have this information open. I'm not trying to move around windows. Open, not open. Okay. This is the move-in date. This is a little awkward. Usually I use 2 monitors, so you might want to do that when you do this at home, but in order to make this all on one screen for you right now, I've got to squink it together. So I don't know them by that, so I want to look at that information. I don't need that. And then I'll look at that. So we got move-in date and unit both at the same thing. So I was taking this and basically copying and pasting it, or I shouldn't keep doing it that way because I should make these into dates. So move-in date for 302. Okay, 302, 302. Move-in date was 12/1/1983. 12/1/1983. Okay, you see how it's scrunched down? I need to pull that open. And then up here for 301, all right, I'm matching it up over here. 10/1/1983, 10-01/1993. Okay, so delete that one. Copy this one. Oh, copy, paste. Apple C. I call it Apple, but it's the command button. Apple C, Apple V. Okay, we'll only need one line here. Okay, for 205 is going to be, as I'm lining it up, I'm just looking, 7/1/2004, 07/01/2004. Okay, copy paste again, and then 203. Let's see here. It's not even in order, which isn't helping. 9/1/2015. 2015. 9/1. Okay, 202. 202. Gonna have this whole thing memorized soon. 202. Here we go. 9/10/2011. 2011. 9/10. Oh, I messed that up. 203. Middle here. 202 is 9/10/2011. Yeah, I did mess that up. So that's there. 203 is 9/01/2015. Okay. Copy, copy, paste. Okay. Looking for unit 105 right now. 09/01/1979. Oh, geez. That's 105. Yeah. Okay. So 201 is 6/01/2004. 06/01/2004. All right. Now copy, paste. Excuse me. One line. Okay. 103. Eve Molina, 02/01/1994. Copy, paste, and this last move-in date section here is 101. It's going to be 01/01/1997, and 102 is 06/06/2017. Right, tenant's base rent at time petition is filed, so now we need to look at their rent. Section 8s are confusing, but we're not including them here, so that's all right. All right, 101 is 12/24/33. Just gonna copy paste this guy over here. So this is 101, yep, 12/24/33. 102 is 2950.00. Copy paste. Copy paste. Okay, and 103. 294.80. It's not 924.80. My mouth says something that my brain sees, or my mouth says things that my brain doesn't necessarily see. It makes up its own reality. All right, 105 is 928.21. 201, this is 1550.01. 202. I know it's in there somewhere. Just saw it there. Not 2293. 2293.7. 203. It's down at the bottom. 2299.50. All right, 205 is 1678.77. Copy paste. And then 301. 1238.51. 302 is 1164.65. All right. They currently don't have any of those on there. There are no previous capital improvements, in fact. So these can just be copy pasted over here. Total current rent. I can hold down Shift and I think select all of them, copy, and then paste them all simultaneously, like that. Proposed, all right, that's going to be, I'm saving this. Save. There we go. There's like the little edited thing, and it's not quite saved. So total proposed monthly. All right, that's going to be on another worksheet. All right, this is source of funds, personal, list all items paid by, nope, reimbursed, nope, 0, 0. I just like to put stuff in fields sometimes, just so I don't come back to them. Okay, so that's checked. Those are done. Date work began. All right. So now we have to research these work orders. Date work began, date work completed. Okay. So we're done with that one. We're back in this capital improvement thing. This is stucco, change orders, permits. Okay, and then there's another bill for that one. So I'm just going to use my little calculator. Not that I can't add it in my head, but it's good to be precise with this stuff. So that plus that is that. Okay, so the stucco work, what is stucco cost of each item? 55,000, 54.43. Okay. And then the security cameras was 2831.67. I didn't. Okay. Now I'm looking for the dates of those. I'm leaving the locks out. Need anything else? I could look at the invoices here, I suppose. They're already on the computer. Right, so now I'm flipping over to this folder. Uncompressing that folder and opening up the stuff in here. Just gonna open all kinds of stuff. It's got the checks in here too, which is great. All right. Power's dying again, so that means we're going to have to do number 3. Wow, that's blurry. If it's not me, it must be you. I think that's a report. The ACH out. Okay. Vendor ledger. All right, so this will tell me when the work started and ended. I'm going to hide application because it's not applicable. So all this Acrobat stuff that I have open is the bills. Okay, so there's the money that was paid to them. When did we start paying them? 4/14/2017, and then we stopped paying them 1/5/2000. That can't be right. These dates might not be in order by bill date. Date range. Okay, yeah. So I guess it was over 4 months from January to April. Paid date. Alright, so I'm going to put down that the earliest date that I can find is this 1/1/05, so I'm working on that in preview, which now has a couple things open. This Amazon thing. This is ACHs for Amazon. Alright. Date work started. I'm going to need one of these little date fields, because I don't think it's going to fit here that nicely without that. Alright. Excuse me. And then the date work was completed, so the latest date in here is 4/14. That's the last date. Okay. So I'm just going to copy paste that, and then I'm going to hand type this in right here. No, that's not the right date either. 4/14/2017. And then this one is going to be 1/05/2017. And then, all right, 50% of that number divided by 2. All right, rounding is appropriate here. Okay, it won't let me do that. So I'm going to just copy this little guy over here, make it 27, 527, 22, rounding up at the 5. All right, and copy, paste. Half of 28, 30, 31.67 divided by 2 equals 14, 15, 80, rounding up again, 84. And there's no interest because it was paid for by personal. Like if there was a loan taken out, you could add interest to this. 50% of total cost with interest. On the 652 Clayton, they did take a loan out to do the work, so we'll have to calculate that in as well. Of total cost with interest. So shift to grab it, add this, total units benefited, 15. So every unit in the building benefited from it, but we're not raising the rent on all the units. That was the distinction at the top. Specify the units that benefited. So we're going to have to make a list of all these. All. Just write all, actually. If there's a list, you can make a list and like make it tiny and like kind of add the list here and see like reference below sheet or something. I'm just going to write all monthly cost per unit. So there's instructions down here, 7, to determine the monthly cost per unit. Divide 50% of the total cost with the interest by 84 months. To determine monthly per unit cost. Months. Okay, are we on the right one? Oh, so careful thing. This is the 7-year. Remember, I said that the stucco and the cameras both fell into the 10-year thing. So I actually need to shift copy as much of this stuff as it will let me. Shift. Yep. Not that one. Not that one. That one. That one. Okay. I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm gonna put them in the correct place, which is this 10-year one. It didn't quite work the way I'd hoped it would, but got some items. So those get deleted. That needs to just get copied. Total cost of each item. This is personal. This is blanked out. So this is the 10-year sheet, all right? It's basically the same as the 7-year, but there's a little bit different math in the instructions. So anyways, we don't have any 7 years to do it this time. And if we did, I'd number them 7, 1, 10, 7, 2, etc. Let's see here. Just keep kind of copying this stuff over. See if those guys click. Yep. Didn't really do it. What? Yeah. Doesn't like the keyboard commands that I'm using. This is the problem with making mistakes, is it makes this stuff take longer. And I can't drag it to down here. And copy the text inside and make, I can't copy this guy. I do have a keyboard saver actually, so I can do stuff like that. Really useful clipboard tool. So copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Right, now delete my mess. Copy the text, delete that. And these still need to be filled in, I think. So I'll just kind of crush that. Let's see here. New stucco facade. Scrolling up, scrolling down. This is the kind of form that if there is a mistake to be made, you're gonna make it. It's the this is the like what do they call that? Norman's law, or some guy's law, Larry's law maybe. Right. I'm gonna take this. These are just copies of these rows over here anyways. Copy, paste. Alright, total number of units benefited, 15. Where were we? Let me make sure this is all cleaned up and stuff. Here, all that's gone. Okay. Now, this is going to be all. This is going to be all. Alright, and now I can read the math for number 7. Alright, so I'm going to take, I got this bottom number in my calculator already. I'm going to divide it by 120. Okay, and then I'm going to divide it by the number of units that benefited, 15. Okay, so that's 79 cents basically, rounding up. So get one of these, paste it. So yeah, we'll do it again up here. So this is 0.79 cents. And copy paste that here. So we're going to do the same thing with this little bit bigger number. So this is 27,527.22. So we divide it by 120. If this was 7 year, you'd divide it by 84. Okay, see what that is, 229. And then divide it by all the units that benefited, 1529. And it is just 1529. So is the round down like that. All right, and so that's how much the rent is going to go up on 10 of the units. That plus that for 10 years. So it might not seem like a lot, but some of these people's rents are pretty low, so getting another 100 or 200 bucks a month out of them is kind of a big deal, or a year out of them. All right, what's this? For individual units, so we didn't do any individual units on this one, so There's a 7-year individual unit form and a 10-year individual unit form. And if you're going to do like appliances back to individual units or carpet or something back to individual units, you can do that stuff in there. Like a lot of times, like tenants have been in a unit for 20 years and they want a new carpet. It's great, but they can pay for half of it through this amortized program, basically. So I don't need to fill out any of those 2 bottom ones. I've filled out this 10-year amortized one here. Don't need to do the 7-year because we don't have any 7-year expenses. Okay. I have gotten most of the way through this. Total proposed capital improvement pass-through. So on each of these, it's going to be 15, 20. It's this plus 79 cents. So it's going to be 1608 is the total. So that's where this number goes, 1608. Copy that. Paste that over that. Copy that. Paste that. Only have one there. Copy again. Paste again. Copy. Paste. Let the cycle continue. Copy, paste. The cycle continue down here. Grab this one with one. Okay. Proposed 1 year maximum cap. What's it say? Exceeds. So if it's more than $30 or 10% of the tenant's base rent, so tenant's base rent, what's the low one here? 900, so 10% would be 90, so it does not exceed 30 or 10%. So 30 is basically the max that you can get. Alright, so we're going 50%, so if he has to spend another $50,000, he can recoup it in this similar format. This amount does not include any annual or back rent increases. Okay, so let's see here, proposed. I'm not going to fill that out because it's not capped. Let's see. This was an not even sure. I'm just going to leave it blank for right now. Might reference some instructions for what that specific section is related to. Okay. All right, so 9, 8, 9, 6, 6, 8, 9. Seven. Six. Then we have to add 1608 to each of these. So 1224.33 is 1240.41. Actually, copy that again. 40, 41. So this is going to be, the 08 is going to stick, 6 is going to stick, that's going to turn into a 6, it's going to be 29. This is going to be 8. 6 is going to turn that into a 30. This is going to be 940.